Hello, Michelina here, welcoming you to another episode of Boys to Men, and I'm actually still a bit dizzy after that previous episode where we did not only win one cup title, we won two. But I'm not a person to stay and linger. It's time to move on. It's time to focus forward. In today's episode, I think we're going to focus on the squad building aspect. What is the current situation? I have a feeling we might be our best version possible, but what does the future hold in its hands? Let's look at that. So to start off this squad management episode, we are going to build from the back, and we're going to start with Piconel. This is the keeper we have for this season, and this is the keeper we are going to use for next season as well. He does look like a solid keeper, age 22, he's made 19 under 21 caps, he is decent all around, could have a little bit of development left in him, but we don't really have anyone who is close to him coming through the youth ranks, so we are going to have to stick with him for probably many years to come, which I'm not too disappointed about. He is actually more than decent. Davor Blažević is aging though, so maybe he is not the best backup option to go behind Piconel. We do have Hussein Del Inquest, who came through at youth intake a couple of seasons ago. He's 22 years old and is a bit underwhelming, especially when we look physically. I mean, he is 190 centimeters tall, but he is struggling with his physical attributes. But I think he is a better option going forward than Blažević as the backup option. So Piconel is there and Del Inquest is there as the backup. We also have young Iaclund, who will be the third choice option, and hopefully he will become better than Del Inquest moving forward. He looks like this now, 17 years old, came in the last youth intake. Lacks flair, which I don't really care about when it comes to keepers. Has a bit of potential ability left in him, 3.5 stars. Current ability, 1.5 stars. So hopefully he will improve enough to be a solid-ish backup option. If we move on to left back, it looks better here. We have two left backs where we are struggling to decide which one is the first and which one is the second choice, and these are young-ish Wallenborg and senior Augustinsson. So Wallenborg has been with us from the start, played 155 games, and he has always looked like his face is slightly too small for his head, but he is well-rounded, good defensively, good going forward. That is the issue with Jonathan Augustinsson as well. Even though he is slightly more defensively minded, we could use him as a central defender as well, which I think we will have to do. You will see in a second why. But he has the player trait runs with ball down left, which makes him very suitable for a left back position. So if we look at central defenders, we have two solid central defensive options, but they are both aging. Isherwood is 28, good defensively, height 195 centimeters, jumping reach 15, heading 13 means that he is good in the air, marking 13 and tackling 14. So very solid defensive central defender. Doesn't want the ball at his feet though. Luckily for us, Jakob Une Larsson doesn't mind that. Vision 11, passing 12, only 181 centimeters tall. They sort of complement each other well, but behind them it looks grim. Niklas Eriksson is basically the only one we have in behind there as a central defender option, and I don't like the looks of him. He's already 18 years old, he doesn't know how to head the ball, even though he has a jumping reach of 17. He lacks positioning, he lacks a bit of marking, he lacks loads of mental attributes, but in fact this is the best guy we have as a backup central defender option at the moment, which makes me hope and pray and beg for a decent central defender to come through youth intake in the next few years. So I don't love the sight of this, but I really don't have any other option than to play him or play Augustinsson, like I said before. As right back, We have Karlsson. I have been telling you that he's only good at running, acceleration 15, pace 15, but he is slowly progressing into a half-decent right back, even though he's still struggling defensively. Positioning 7, tackling 6. That makes me have to close my eyes whenever the opponents come down their left flank. But going forward, he's okay. He scored a couple of goals recently, which has surprised me a bit. But he is our number one option. We do have a young 17-year-old Savopoulos, must be of Greek descent, coming through as a future option or a backup option. He looks a bit of the same, a little bit better when it comes to defending, positioning 7, tackling 9. He seems to be improving immensely at the moment. Does need work in every aspect of the game. But if he keeps improving, if he reaches 3.5 or 4 stars out of that 4.5 star potential ability, then I think he will be a decent option, maybe even overtake Karlsson as the number one right back option. We do have our eyes on this guy though. Felix Paymo, former Brommapojkarna Academy product, who is with Malmö. We would love to bring him home. He would be the solid number one option for at least 1, 2, maybe 3 years until Savopoulos becomes good enough. The problem is that Malmö doesn't want to sell and he really doesn't want to come home. But if we would manage to win the title this season, maybe tables would turn and maybe he would become interested in coming home. If we move one step forward, central midfield looks okay. 2 youngish options and they are quite good as well, and in behind them we have slightly more experienced Findell. Isak Holm, defensively minded, okay. Attacking wise, good. Passing 16, vision 12, flair of 9 is okay. I do love his first touch. And I do love the fact that he's only 18 years old. We need to re-sign him to a new contract because clubs in Europe are whispering sweet promises of money and European football to him, so we will need to tie him down. Next to him we have ever smiling Jakob Iaclund. At 22 he won't improve that much more, but he's also a decent option. In fact he is as good as they come for us at the moment. Hampus Findell, 26, we can use him in central midfield. We can also use him as an attacking midfielder. Good going forward, slightly less good when it comes to defending. Tries killer balls off and dictates tempo. Likes to switch ball to wide areas. He's played 81 games for us and he is good. He's a solid option, no more, no less. Not going to improve a lot either. So a good backup option for us. But we do have 2 young players coming through, Lorentzon and Svensson. Maybe they will even overtake Holm or at least Eklund in 1 or maybe 2 seasons. Albin Lorentzon is improving very nicely and he is more of a defensively minded central midfielder. Tackling 15, positioning 11, work rate 16, aggression 16, bravery 16. If he could only improve his physical attributes a little more, then I think he will be the solid defensive midfielder option for many years to come. A resolute personality makes me think that he will maybe even reach his high potential ability. Johan Svensson has also always had a high potential ability but has struggled to improve. He lacks a bit physically as well, but is also a more of a defensively minded central midfielder, even though he could maybe be used going forward. His lack of vision makes me a bit worried when it comes to using him as some sort of playmaker, but we could use him if we need to. So 2 good backup options except for Findell to come through in the next couple of seasons. Another step forward to the attacking midfield position. It's good now, but we have a major issue in the next season. You see Hallgren is in red, that is because he is returning to Dortmund. But for now we have the best attacking midfield trio in all of Sweden, maybe even all of Scandinavia. They are one talented group of players. Kalle Andersson is progressing every single week, putting in those extra hours, putting in that extra effort, is really paying off in training. Dribbling, technique, acceleration, he's got it all. Even got a flair of 14, 7 goals in 8 starts this season, tells a story of its own. What a player he is. We have tied him down until 2029, and hopefully he will be with us forever and ever and ever. Hallgren, as I told you, may be the best player in the entire Swedish Premier Division. On loan for the 3rd season from Borussia Dortmund. I would absolutely love it if they released him. Then I would be there snatching him up immediately. But I do have a feeling that he's going to be lost for us for a number of years now when he goes out on a European adventure. He will leave a massive hole behind him. We have him throughout this season, but I'm already planning for next. And for next season, things are looking grim. Out on the right is John Tete. Good dribbling, lacks finishing, but has a good first touch and technique. Passing of 10, I would like that to be maybe 1 or 2 or 3 notches higher for him to actually deliver the ball to where it's supposed to go. But he has put points on the board so far. 6 goals and 5 assists in 8 starts this season. So I'm very pleased with him, having him at the club until 2029. And behind them it becomes tough. Martin Persson, is he the best AM option? I think so, and that makes me sad. Vision 11, passing 16 makes him decent for the advanced playmaker option, but dribbling of 6 makes me not want to play him out on the flanks. So serious issue here. We also have Jakob Utmark, who is an okayish dribbler, an okayish passer of the ball. Could probably be used out on the flanks if we need to, but I really don't want to. We have Findell as well. Like I told you, he could play central midfield, he can play advanced midfielder. But we are lacking options here. We are really, really lacking options, which means that maybe we need to move into a 4-4-2 for next season, or some sort of 2-forward system, because at the spearhead of our attack we have quality and we have depth. Keflesus at age 22 and Krebs at age 23. I tend to alternate them. Whoever is in form plays. Keflesus has been immense this season. 11 goals in 6 starts. He is scoring every opportunity he gets, despite his finishing actually being 7. So no one tell him that he cannot finish. Don't let him know that. Just let him keep scoring those goals. And next to him or behind him or in front of him, it depends from week to week, we have Krebs, 98 goals in 146 games. The record holding goal scorer of Brommapojkarna throughout history. He has the entire package, even though it doesn't seem that way at first sight. Dribbling 14, finishing 15, first touch 14, check. Heading 15, check. Technique is there, off the ball is there. Physicality is there, composure is there. He is one brilliant player that I hope I'm going to keep for the entire career. Behind these two, it looks good as well. 2 new upcoming stars, 2 rising stars coming through. Johansson and Burusson. Victor Johansson at 17, he is progressing very nicely, finishing 15, first touch 11. Are we seeing a bit of an heir to Krebs? A kind of complete forward, or an advanced forward if you like. Decent physical attribute as well. And then we have Jens Burusson from the last youth intake. I know that I was pretty pissed off after that last youth intake and thought that no one would be good enough. But this guy is actually merging into something decent. First touch 11. Technique 11. Needs to work on his finishing, needs to work on his passing game, needs to work on his off-the-ball skills. But good aggression, nice determination will hopefully mean that he will improve. Good acceleration and nice stamina. So there is a foundation to build on there, and hopefully he will improve going forward. But this guy is in my dreams, both day and night. Imagine if we could have Dejan Kulusevski come home. He is currently at PSG, so the prospect of bringing him home seems highly, highly unlikely. But I would absolutely love it if we could. He is as complete as they come, and I would even think that age 33, 34, 35, he will be good enough to actually contribute to Brommapojkarna. With a natural fitness of 15, hopefully he will be good for many, many, many years to come. And maybe, just maybe, we will never manage to get him home, but at least it's a pipe dream that I have. So, if we look at the entire picture here, we are strong in certain positions and we are weak in others. If this was an ordinary save, then I would only have gone out and signed players for our weaker positions. But we need to get players through our youth intake, and I can only cross my fingers and hope and dream and pray that we will get players coming through at left back, players coming through as central defender, and players coming through at advanced playmaker. I don't think we are too many days away from actually getting the intake preview, and then we'll know a little more what we can expect for the next youth intake. When looking forward, we need to focus on the European competitions because we are in it to win it this season. And by it I mean the Swedish Premier Division. We are currently second, and I am 100% confident that we will finish within the top 3. But I want us to fight for the first position. I want us to win. But because we had a great showing together with IF Brommapojkarna in the Europa League conference, the Swedish Premier Division has skyrocketed up the latest competition rankings list. 6 places up from to 13th place from 19th place. Our showing in the European Cups also made that we skyrocketed as well, 261 places up to 88th place. So if we look at the coefficient page here, we get 23 coefficient points for winning the Europa League conference, and we haven't racked up a single point before. That isn't strange in any way, since we haven't competed in a European competition before. We pass FC Copenhagen, the Scandinavian giants, and we reach the levels of teams such as Wigan, West Ham, Swansea, Stoke, Southampton, glorious big English clubs. We are getting close to IF Brommapojkarna. Oh wow, they could add 23 points to their 4 points, so they gained the same amount even though we beat them in the final. Feels a bit unfair. But with another solid season in Europe, I see us climbing into the top 50, passing Malmö FF, reaching the likes of Red Bull Salzburg and Villarreal and Leipzig. That would be such withering heights. With another good season, I could actually see us going into the top 35 with teams like Real Sociedad, PSV Eindhoven, and with several different seasons. In 3 or 4 seasons, I predict us to be a top 25 club in Europe. I predict us to pass Sevilla. If you think that I might be overly optimistic or even stupid, do let me know in the comments, but I have high hopes for this team. This is another cool thing that happens with our rise up the competition rankings. We gain another spot in the Champions League, and we also gain a spot in the Europa League. Previously we had 1 Champions League qualifying spot and 3 Europa League conference spots. Now we have 2 spots for the Champions League, with 1 actually going straight to the group stage. If we win the league this season, we will go straight into the Champions League group stage. But if we finish second, we will get to play in the qualification. 3rd place team, or maybe it's the league winners, the cup winners, I'm not sure, will go to the Europa League, and we have 2 places in the Europa League conference. So we gain 1 spot in total, which is absolutely awesome. A bit of a building the nation action at the same time. So this has been a bit of a strange episode, but I will leave you here without playing a single game. Instead, you got an in-depth run through of the actual squad situation and what we have to expect going forward. I'm psyched for this season, but slightly worried going forward. When I see you back, we will play both AIK and Malmö once we are back from our summer vacation. Thanks for watching, see you soon, bye.